Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we have something a little bit different. 3 brand new maps have just jumped onto the scene, so I'm going to give you a rundown on those 3 maps. Let's dive straight into it. So here we go, map number 1. This map's called Pools of Ilys and has been made by Neb. We have a small 1v1 to 3v3 map here. So can support up to 5 players in total. And here we have the start positions, mostly being 2 metal extractor starts here, with a couple of ones that had 3. The most important thing though on this map is that all the metal spots on the entire map are 2.2. So not a lot of metal. Wind strength though, with 6 to 16 wind strength. But the biggest factor here is the tidal at 20 strength, so a lot of power on tidal. There are a few metal extractors on the high ground, so if you're playing this as a team and have someone that goes air, there are a couple of metal extractors that can only be gotten via air. And this will provide you with a couple of very safe metal extractors to work with. Now there are several geo points on the map, 5 of them in total. 2 of them are on either side of the base, and there are then 3 in the middle. These are all surrounded by crystals, so there's a lot of energy to be had by even just going there to reclaim them. Skirted on the far sides of the map are 2 very large pools of water. These break up the map so that you have to go either left or right around it to attack the opponent's side of the map. Further back towards the start positions are 2 slightly smaller ponds. Now these will make great use of the 20 tidal strength on this map, giving you a relatively safe place for your commander to build a bunch of tidal. Interesting to see how players make use of this and if it becomes a big bombing opportunity. And that's it for the Pools of Ilys map. What do you think of this new map? Looking forward personally to seeing it in some 1v1s with all of these tremendous chokes down the middle, and the 2 left and right hand lanes is going to make for some tremendous gameplay. Lots and lots of high ground advantage to be had as well on those side cliffs along the middle, and some surprise sneak attacks take place through the waters as well. But it's not going to be quite so straightforward with all of those cliff areas in the corners of the map, making it extremely difficult for radar vision to be maintained unless you have an air player to chuck a radar up on top of those hills. And again, that's the Pools of Ilys map made by Neb. Go give him your thanks in the comments for such a great map. And map number 2. Prismatic Anomaly, made by Zakapi, designed for 3v3 but support 1v1s and up to 5v5. This colourful map, yet very dark and foreboding, set on a moon near an astral compound, is one of the first new maps made on Blender instead of the traditional process. Now here we have the start positions. There is no starting reclaim to note here, and all of the 3 starting positions that it is designed for have 3 metal points each. Now all of the metal points on this map are 2.1 metal, and there is no wind whatsoever on this moon, so it is an entirely solar based map. There are also no geos to speak of, so metal is going to be very, very important on this map. Now, speaking of metal, there are lots of metal points strewn all over the map, as we can see here highlighted in green to make it easier for you to spot. They are very, very spread out, so maintaining control will be difficult. This map has a very unique look to it. The super colourful pyramids emitting glow off of them And you can see there's a slight difference in color depending on where they are on the map. These monstrous pyramids of light are going to cause lots of problem with radar vision, and it's going to make it extremely difficult for you to know where your opponents are, meaning lots and lots of radars are going to be required. Around the map, there are huge impact craters. This is going to force players to choose their micro carefully. That's all the key information you need to know about this new Prismatic Anomaly map. Are you looking forward to playing on this new map with all of the hidden choke points and blind spots that the pyramids represent? This map also sets precedent for an easier map making process for all of you players that are used to Blender. Maybe now is time for you to join the mapping team and make another awesome map just like this one. And the final map today is Sand Crowns, made by Phalange. At least Bar has a Phalange. This map is a 4-team, 4-player FFA map, with each of the start positions having 3 metal extractors each. See, they're grouped up very closely here, so raiding in the early stages of the game is going to be very difficult. Wind on this map is between 4 and 16, and there are no geos on this map whatsoever. Metal extractors on this map are 1.8 when it comes to strength, so metal is severely limited, and this is the lowest metal map so far today. Now, there are several metal points on this map that do have increased metal. This one on the high ground here has 3 metal strength. There are also several other places that have 3 metal strength. And they are in the bottom corner on the sand kind of part of it. And then also on the hill in the opposite corner. So all 3 corners of the map have high value metal. So it's important to be fighting over those corners rather than really trying to contest the center of the map. Now, next to both sides of the base, there are these mountainous areas, as well as on the middle of the map. All of these areas have very vibrant blue crystals. This is the only reclaim to be had on the map, providing a huge amount of energy in the early stages of the game. This is going to mean that you're going to see a lot of players start with bots on this map in order to make the most of all of these energy crystals. However, the map overall is quite flat, and therefore a transition into vehicles, or potentially even a very greedy start to vehicles, could be seen on this map. In the direct center of the map is a large mountain. This is going to block radar coverage of your direct opposite opponent. Not only that, it's also going to make it difficult for you to position your army effectively against your opponent that is directly opposite. You're not going to see the army until you're already partway round. Now, when coming from a base, there are a couple of routes that you could take. This one here is directly straight out the front, and then to the right past the high ground metal extractor. This is the most direct route, and as you can see, there's barely any terrain kind of stopping you pathing this way. This does mean you can get attacked by a third party from either side, though, during this process. There is, although, another route, and that could be round from the side instead, as that high ground metal point is basically just an island, and you could take the low ground or side route in order to attack the base rather than going directly through the middle. This side route will protect you from other parties getting involved, but is probably going to be the most contested area of the map. This is obviously the same for all sides of the map. Now, that's all the important information you need to know about the new map, Sand Crowns. Primarily, you played in FFA. What do you think of this colorful crystalline map? Don't forget to say your thanks to Phalange for the new map in the comments. What sort of maps are you interested in seeing come to Bar? Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different video today. And I'll see you all next time.